Back in November, I did a video where I rendered all 32,768 map IDs on 2B2T. My ultimate plan was to make a map wall where I could see every single map at the same time. That way, I would never have to hunt down maps from map builders, get copies, and actually in the end, it would just make for a much easier process of looking at the map art on 2B2T and collecting it at the same time. Now, the problem is, I was able to generate all the 32,768 maps, but the hard part was setting up to display them because my goal was to display them in numerical order. One, I wanted to make sure that I actually had every single map ID because I haven't checked that yet. And then two, I actually wanted to put them in order. So what you're looking at right now is my first hallway of my ultimate map art project display, where I want to display all the 32,000 maps. But this first part of my display is only 1/8 of those total maps. So what you're about to see is a hallway that is about 375 blocks long. You can see on the left and the right now, because they're in the render distance, that I have maps set up in 90 ID grids. So I have 6 up and 15 across. So each section is 90 maps. So there's 90 here, and there's 90 here, and it's going to go down each of those sections down there. The reason the maps aren't rendering is 2B2T's render distance for entities is very low. That's why right once you get to there, there's no more entities. But as we start walking, you'll see more of the maps. So I kind of want to just walk through. I want to show you this first hallway that I built, just so you can get an idea of what I'm building. And then I'm going to cut to construction of the second hallway, where I've got a TNT out the hallway, build the walls, build the floors, put in the lights, and then ultimately getting the maps in place. And that's the hard part because I want to put all the maps up and I want to display them, but I want to put them in numerical order. So I want to make sure that I have every map and then that they're in the actual order. So what I've actually labeled here is like you'll see maps 0 through 89. There's 90 maps because maps start at 0, and then on the right side I go 90 to 179, and it crisscrosses back and forth. And what I did is I start at the top, I go down, and I start at the top again, I go down, and it's just all the way like this. So it's a lot of work of getting the maps out, and I'm going to show you that further in the video. But I want to walk down this first hallway just to get you an idea of what it's going to look like. This is the first hall of 8. There's going to be 8 hallways. Each hallway has 4,096 maps, which 4,096 times 8 is 32,768. So I'm going to walk down a little bit, kind of show you what's going on. There's not too many maps that are generated in this one because a lot of them were overwritten. You can see a lot of blank ones. These were overwritten by people that did the same thing as I did. They just spammed a bunch of maps in one location, and it creates this blank map sections. So we're going to walk through. There are some maps that are generated, but I want to give you the scale of how long this tunnel is. Like I said, it's 375 blocks long. Each section has 90 maps back and forth, just to get an idea of walking down this, looking at the maps, and then having it 7 more times, or 8 total hallways. You're going to notice that some of the maps on the left are gone. Those had porn on them, so I wanted to remove them so I didn't get any trouble with YouTube. But yeah, I have those maps. They're rendered. I just took them down for the video. As you can see here, there's already a couple maps that were rendered. These are from Rebane 2001. I'm going to talk a bit about more him in future this part of this video because he's very important for what I have when I have to put the maps up. And there's some custom maps here. These are, I know what these maps are. I'm not going to say those, but they are part of a secret project. I think I did a video about that. But the rest of these, for right now, you can see they're kind of blank. So I'm guessing, because a lot of them all have this same terrain, I'm guessing that someone underground, because there's no structures on top. There's no structures. That they are underground and they're just spamming a bunch of maps. And then that's exactly what they did, because you'll see a bunch of these maps. So we went through the first 90, and then we go through 180 through 269. So I've literally gone through, handpicked every single one of these maps. This was not done with a bot or anything. Literally opening chest after chest, If you watch the video where I rendered all the maps, you'll see that I did them in stacks of 5 double chests. So I would have to shift through, if you will, 5 double chests of maps to get them all in order. So here's somebody's, looks like a beacon setup. Green. So they're on a mesa, obviously. They're probably just generated a map. But yeah, they probably snuck one in while somebody else was spamming all these maps. And you can tell they're the exact same map over and over again. This is what happens when you spam a lot of maps in one location and you overwrite the previous maps that are there. A lot of them will become out blank. Oh, here's one up here. It's looking like Bernie Sanders. It's a pretty good one. So there are a couple peppered in here that people were able to generate while somebody was spamming them. Someone else got some in forest. A regular cliff, nothing special on those. So here's one. So I can't remember the person's name, but they're recreating all the paintings in 2B2T as map art. So I think that's one of them right now. I can't remember which one that is. And then there's just more terrain. Nothing special there. You can see this is a lot. What are we up to right now? 1900? Still going. Oh, yeah, like I said, this is 375 blocks long. Each section has 90 maps. So when I did the video back in November, for me to do a project, if it takes too long, I get bored with it very quick. So I was working on, I think, an hour once a week. I would come in here and I would just start going through maps. And I would literally get through maybe 500 in that hour. It's another part of the secret map project. You can tell what that one is. So yeah, I would come in here. It would get boring for me. That's why it's now May. And I've only finished the first hallway. But I'm hoping with the mod I have that I'm going to be showing off later in the video, it's going to make this project go a lot faster and help me get it done a lot quicker. Those are some cartographer maps. Looking probably for water temples, mansions. Now the walls of this is nothing special. You can tell they're just cobblestone because I knew I was just putting item frames and maps up. I didn't really care what the background looked like. It's just to hold the item frames. Now you can tell the terrain is starting to change here. I guess they rendered a bunch of the maps and then they started changing it. You can tell here that there might be a bunch of chests that are there. They put in some lines. The green is probably cactuses. Probably an ocean, or not an ocean, a river biome that's running through it. So they're starting, after they spammed a bunch of maps, they probably started changing the terrain a little bit to put up some more chests. Oh, here we go. So here's someone's kind of base. They got a big giant mushroom. The bright red ones could be lit netherrack or maybe even lava, but it's probably lit netherrack because that's how the vibrant red is. And they have a couple farms there. What else do we have? Lava, and then there's whatever this red line is. It's interesting to see maps when people just put random stuff, locations. There's like a little mini farm right there. Yeah, the reason why I did 6 high is because 6 is the maximum height that you can reach with your hand. Or is it 5? It's 5, I think. I don't remember. I think I could do it where I'd get really close and I could right click it right from here and I'd be able to put the map on the ID or the map in its item frame. And then we're right here at the end, 4,095, because remember maps start at 0. So you got to go to 4,095. Which is 1 less. And then I just cleaned up the rest. It's not a perfect matchup, obviously. If I'm doing 6 high and then 15 across, it doesn't exactly divide up evenly into 4,096. But yeah, those are my maps. So unfortunately, a lot of these ones, the first 4,000 are just a bunch of overwrittens. But there's a couple snuck in here that show bases. A couple terrains. There's a couple maps built in there. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to cut to the next part where I'm going to show you building the next tunnel, where I've got to tunnel it out, TNT the rest of it, because it goes a lot easier than having to handpick this tunnel that's, you know, almost 400 blocks long. And you can see it's pretty wide. This is 6 wide, and it's at least, what is it, 10 high. So it's a big area. I TNT a lot of it out. Use a pick, obviously, to clean up the remnants. And then what I did is actually took a schematic of this particular hallway, flipped it around, and then just ran it with schematic in the printer and just had it laid the blocks down for me as I went. And I'm going to go ahead and cut to that right now. So here I am in the location where I've rendered every single map, all 32,768 maps. And if you saw the video back in November, which I'll leave a link for in the video description, you can see as I did this rendering and making all these maps. And it was a long time. It took me a couple hours to go through and doing every single one of these. And I had a whole macro setup where it would take all the maps out for me, render them, and then put them back in the chest pretty much all automatically. That way I didn't have to worry about hopefully no one sneaking in and using up any of the map IDs as I was rendering them. So all single one of them is full of maps, pretty much in kind of an order. The way I did it, if you haven't seen the video, is this is a stack of 5 double chests. I had 4 stacks or so of blank maps in here, and what I do is I would take them all out, render them all right here, and then put them all in these 5 chests. So they're in order per se, as long as you stay within a 5 double chest range. So these 5, all the map IDs are in order, and then once you get through this, then you'd go through this layer, and then this layer, and then so forth and so forth. So I ended up having the render, it's this 4 hallways, rendering them all out. So kind of let me show you. So you saw the hallway where I had the 4,096 maps. That's only from here and went around to the edge and then back to here. That was 4,096, and I have to do that 8 more times. So all these are full of maps. All of those are full of maps. Those are full of maps, and those are full of maps. Lots of maps. So I have a lot to go through. And building the tunnel, putting the obsidian down, putting the sea lanterns, building the walls, even putting the item frames on the wall themselves, that whole process took me maybe at most 3 hours. And I was even stopping and I took some breaks, getting a snack and whatnot. The problem with this project is putting the maps in, because like I said before, I'm trying to put them in order. So let me kind of show you what I'm dealing with when I say that. So all maps in Minecraft, I have the tooltips turned on so you can actually see the item's ID. So a map item ID is 358, but the specific map is 4096. So what I would do is I have to get 4096, and then just looking at this, I go, oh crap, now I've got to find 4097, but they're not specifically in order. So I would have to mouse over each individual map like this. Where's 4097? You know, I'm kind of going, no. And you can even notice that they're not in order. They're pretty much in a 9-span order, because when I would take them out and put them back in, it would run off my toolbar first. It's kind of a funky process on how it would put the items back into the chest. It didn't do it in order because it didn't have them in my inventory in order when I was rendering them. I would render it and it would fall out of my inventory into just a pile because I could only hold, 4 rows of items. You can see a lot of these. So what really took the most time with this project is just trying to find the I go, okay, I've got 96, I got 98, 99, but I haven't found 97 yet. There's 100, 101, 2, 3. I don't even think see, this is where I've got to dig until I can find it. 40. And that's the problem. It really could be anywhere in all these chests. So yeah, this is what really took me the longest with this project. Is it didn't take me long to build the tunnels and get everything prepared. It's getting these maps out of the chests, because I had them in this specific setup, and then putting them in order on my wall. Luckily, Rebane 2001, he's the guy that's done the map art website where you can make map art using any image that you can find online. And he's also created a website where you can see every map art generated on a website. You don't have to go into 2B2T or to collect maps. He actually already has a website set up where it shows every time somebody generates a map on 2B2T. So if you're not interested in building a map wall like this, I would definitely check out his website, and I'll leave a link in the video description, where if you want to just see the map art on 2B2T, go to his website and check it out. But what he did is he actually helped me out, and he created a mod where finding the next map art in order for which ones I was looking for is going to be greatly increased, and it's going to make this project go so much more quicker for me. So let me show you that. Okay, I have the new mod loaded, and you can see it actually at the top left of the screen where it says Map Art Mod Private. And I'm going to show you what this new mod does in making map walls so much easier. So you remember when I was showing the different map IDs and where I was having to hunt and peck and hover and mouse over each individual map to find out which map I was looking for? Well, this one actually puts the map ID as a number over the map. So let me show you. I'm going to open up the first one. You can see right here, this is map 4096. And if I mouse over, it actually shows it to you. And what it's doing is it's putting a red square around it, letting you know that that's the lowest map art number within this chest. So I'm going to take this one out, and now it's in my inventory. So what's going to happen now is when I open up another chest, it's going to first highlight the lowest map ID number within that chest. And they're not always going to be in order, because obviously all these chests, if I open up one other one, it's not going to be in order. But what it's going to help me do is when I see the next number that I need, it's going to progressively highlight each individual red number. You'll see it as I start doing this. So we're going to look for now 4097. Boom. I instantly see it. I don't have to hunt and peck for it. And it even highlights it, 4097. And as I take it into my inventory, watch what happens with both my inventory and the chest. So my inventory still shows it the lowest number, which is fine, because that's the number I have to start with when I start putting them up on the wall. But as I take 4097, the chest updates with its next lowest number. So obviously I need 4098, 99. Is that one? This is making it so much easier. This would literally take me 5 minutes hunting and pecking. So you see what happened there? It was 4,101 and it didn't go in order. It saw that 4,102 is next. So it jumped over here, 3, and then 4 is over here. And even if it didn't show the reds outlines, it's at least putting the numbers over top where I can see each one. I'm kind of hoping it would show. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put these, got to move these over to, that's what I do. I put them all into shulkers and then I transport them over to the wall. There, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now see, here's the issue. So I'm looking for 4137. Now the chest knows that 4139 is the lowest, but it's not the one that's next in order. So this is where you have to pay attention to both the number that you're getting and the color. There's 4137, 38, but it's not 4139. I know it's back over here. Yeah, this is gonna greatly increase how fast I can do this project now. Because literally it would take me, like I was saying before, an hour a week, and I'd be doing 500, and I'm whipping through this right now. So we're at 4137 or 4147, 41. No, that's way too high. So then we got to go back over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fill up these chests, and then I'm going to show you actually me putting them on the wall to see the next part of this map art mod that it does. It does one other thing too, which is really cool. So I've moved the maps from where I originally made them to where I'm going to be hanging them up. So now I've got to take them out of the chest, which is going to be really easy because they're in order since that's how I got them out of the chest. And now I could just hang them up. And this is where you get to see the next part of this map art mod. Okay, so now I'm going to start hanging these up. So I'll start right at the top because this is for maps 4096. And that's the first map art I have. There you go, and look at that. It's actually going to show you as an overlay the specific map art ID. So as you're putting these up, perhaps you weren't paying attention and you put some of them up in the wrong order. You can quickly just walk through and just instantly just swap them out and put them in the correct order. And I mean, this project is going to take a while because you got to put them up. And I think what, in the last 2 minutes, I hung up that many maps. So the mod is really going to help me find the maps very quickly, but it's still, you've got to place 32,000 maps down by hand. That's going to take time. So I want to thank you guys again for watching this video of an update of my map wall art project. Like I said, this is a very long project and it's going to take me a very long time, but I at least want to give you an update of what progress has been made so far. You know, I've got the first hallway done, and with this new mod, it's definitely going to help me finish this project a lot quicker than I initially anticipated. And hopefully when it's completely done, I can give a final update and do a full walkthrough of the map art project. That way you can see all 32,768. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below down at the comment section. And in the video description, I will leave links to the various websites I mentioned and some of the mods I mentioned. I will not be able to give out this particular map art mod. This is a private one that was specifically coded for me. But other than that, if you guys have any questions, leave them below, and I'll catch you later. See ya.